kid that already knows that because they're already told every day that they're important. Yes.
But wouldn't you think that the teacher, the parent, and the media, those three influences should all come together to make the child a critical thinker? So everybody's goals, regardless of their opinion, your goal would be to have that child be able to learn to sort out these various opinions and have critical thoughts of their own.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think that's the skill that is the central skill that we're trying to develop here. The ability to say that, you know, in order, you know, I think that's the next step, that, you know, you are a part of your community and you are important and you can make a difference. But to make a difference, you have to think. You have to engage yourself and read and get the answers to questions and learn to ask good questions. And I do think that's something that's very important. I think that's kind of the general, you know, going along that path in civic education. I think those are the stepping stones you need all along the way before you ever even register to vote. Yeah.
I'm wondering if you've thought about other measures of civic participation other than the traditional ones. So I guess the thing that came me to ask this question is because I think a lot of this generation's reasons for not participating in traditional government civic participation is because of a disillusionment of that, and so have found maybe a different sector, I would say civil society, to find that. So what kind of measures could you think of to measure that as civic participation?
It's definitely something that's more difficult to get a handle on, and I limited it to really those traditional voting booth type things, mostly because that was what, you know, the declining voting rate was what we were starting with. But I absolutely do think that just because the voting rate's declining doesn't mean that we're not participating. I think you do see a lot of people that, you know, that would say, well, this issue, this race in my, you know, in my country, in my state, in my county, isn't that important to me. What's important to me is this issue that's, you know, outside my borders, that's, you know, or this issue that transcends politics, and that's what I'm going to devote my time and my resources and my energy to. And I think that's something that, and I think that's kind of I think that is one of the major trends of our generation. In terms of what questions to ask, I think asking what, you know, maybe what different groups you're involved in. I think open-ended, I think, you know, it becomes harder to, you know, code into statistics and stuff, but asking what issues are important to you. I think doing maybe more ethnographic research like you did all over the world in terms of asking people questions about what they got involved with and things like that. I think it's something that's harder to capture in numbers, I guess. It's something that you really have to sit down and talk with people about.
I think we can call that a very successful defense. Congratulations. And I presume that you will hang around for a few minutes if other people have questions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it.